I think when you walk through the projects, it isn't simply as if you're just moving through a building, and that you're having an experience and actually moving through the space that's powerful and memorable. A lot of our work really is fundamentally rooted in the environment in which we live. That project is really based on a natural canyon that's down south of the university.
There's water capturing inside there. There's a whole series of waterfalls that are all captured inside. It's pretty special. It's kind of a religious experience when you're inside it during some storms. It very much feels like you're in a canyon.
Our work's primarily in the public arena. And for me, that's important because it speaks a lot to who you're serving as an architect.
So many of these projects we do are actually physically even built by people that live in that community too, right? So there's a sense of pride, there's a sense of ownership, and being a part of that process to me is super exciting.
So for Sante, we were actually given a site that was a retention area within a neighborhood park. So we really wanted to promote this idea that you felt of the park, which really meant a lot of transparency and openness. So the development of the shade, the armature on the outside, much like being in the park under trees, but also the neutral quality of the white building is painted by the desert sunset. So we get these striking, amazing colors that just sort of dance through the building as the sun moves through its cycle. We oftentimes get sort of painted with the brush of being desert architects. But what we take away from the desert environment isn't necessarily just the desert. What we're taking away is our philosophy and how we approach context in environment, no matter where we build. So we are literally creating architecture now on the opposite side of the planet from where we are today, from frigid cold to absolute heat during one cycle of a day, all the way to just some incredible heat in Doha, Qatar, or in the tropical environments of Mauritius and Rio de Janeiro. So every time we build in a place, we spend a lot of energy in understanding the context, understanding the science, and then how do we leverage that to create a better piece of architecture?
I never wanted to be just an executive sitting in an office looking at spreadsheets all day long. Both of us are fully vested in all of our projects that we do.
We're in this to be architects. We're in this to design, we're in this to build, we're in this to create. And we have very skilled, very talented people here. In small groups of very dedicated people can achieve some amazing results. A lot of our work really is fundamentally rooted in the environment in which we live. That project is really based on a natural canyon that's down south of the university, down Aravipa Canyon.
Borrowing from nature, I think, was fundamentally our big thrust of that project, right? That you really are forced to experience the canyon. When you're traveling through the building, you're forced outside and to go through that environment. The cooling effect of a canyon, the shade, the thermal mass. There's water capturing inside there. There's a whole series of waterfalls that are all captured inside.
You get the transpiration of the water coming through the plant material, the trees, the evaporation effect of the stream that migrates through the center of the canyon, and then the sheltering effect of the canyon walls. That whole process was really taken apart and analyzed in a very scientific kind of way and then recreated in that architectural environment. When the rain falls, that was really taken as a really powerful moment in the architecture of the project.
It's pretty special. It's kind of a religious experience when you're inside it during some storms and some of those. It very much feels like you're in a canyon.
We see where the water falls on the roof or on the terraces. It's brought through, feeding the gardens, and then that's collected as it pools and then is brought down to the canyon below. You'll actually see where the water falls from floor to floor through the building and makes a real magical kind of event. I think when you walk through the project, it isn't simply as if you're just moving through a building, and that you're having an experience and actually moving through the space that's powerful and memorable.